What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the freaking Uncultured Podcast. Holy cow, we're here.
Yeah.
It's
We
been a bit. It's been a long bit, guys. We've had man, this has been a very tough year for both of us. Like not in a bad way. Like things are fine for both of us. It's just
Yeah.
been a very busy and a lot going on, and a lot of hurdles have been thrown our way. So without digging too much into it, guys, we apologize for the delays. But hopefully we can start working through all this stuff and get back to what matters, video games and stuff like that. Am I right?
Yeah. The important things in life,
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, forget your family, forget your loved ones. It's all about the game industry, baby.
Well, we're gonna skip small talk for a little bit. We're not gonna do any small talk today because we've got a pretty important topic about that we've got to cover today, and it directly involves the gaming industry. Like this is, to be honest, this is probably one of the biggest announcements we've had in as in the gaming industry as a whole. And obviously, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6, right?
Yeah. Uh, it's going to be the best game ever made, even though it's literally going to be every other Rockstar game in a different skin, but.
Well, no, we're not talking about GTA 6, but in all fairness, they did make a pretty interesting announcement that kind of ties into our overall topic today, that GTA 6 is not going to be released on physical media,
Yep.
which is a very interesting take. And I know this isn't the overall topic. Like we're gonna dig into that for sure. But I kind of want to get your take on this. What's your thought process on that?
Man, that's the thing is I think without getting too much into our overarching topic, I think it's a poor business practice for sure to alienate certain parts of your market like that.
Agreed. Like again, we're obviously on the side of physical media. Like that's
Yep.
where we lie for sure. But I don't like. It would be one thing if they released it digitally at launch and then a physical edition later. Like that would
Yeah.
be one thing. Because I on the business side of this, I understand. Hey, if we release it digitally, we control everything about so it doesn't leak early. Nobody gets early access to a game and reveals the entire story. Like we can control the launch entirely. And if they did that, I 100% understand. It sucks because personally, I would have to wait for a physical one. I wouldn't have to, but I would want to.
Yeah.
But it also, now that they're saying it's digital only, they're really, taking our knees out from under us in that regard. So I don't know. I'm not super thrilled about that. But that really ties into our overarching topic today, which Sony announced starting 20 January 2028, they are going to stop physical production on video games.
Yep.
So let's get into the thick of it right now.
Yeah.
This
This is going to be a
sucks.
long one, everybody.
Like, to be honest, this sucks. Like, again, as a physical gamer, like as someone who collects physical media, this really kind of sets the tone for what's ahead of us. And there's a lot of things I think people don't think of or don't fully understand. And I really want to dig into a lot of those topics. I want to give people the idea of what this could do, what this could turn into. But I also want to kind of also talk about the pros to this as well, because there are some benefits to this, but not in the. I don't know. It's kind of hard. There are pros and cons to this, but I'm still not a fan of it.
I think the cons outweigh
No,
the
for sure.
pros, but but yeah, I agree. There are some pros to it, but albeit very minimal.
And then I kind of want to. We'll dig into this part later too, but I think a kind of a important topic we need to cover at the end of this is, how does this change for us? What does 2028 and forward look like for both you and me? And we'll cover that at the very end. I think that's the overall how we should end this episode. But
I think that's a good call. Yeah.
so July 1st, they announced, hey, physical media is going to stop on January 2028. Plus, they also threw in they're shutting down the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita online store.
Yep.
So they're just taking out a lot of this stuff out from under us. They're definitely kind of they're making it known that they really want physical or digital only markets. So what was your thought
Yep.
process on this? Because I know you text me that morning about it too.
Yeah. I mean, so here's, I mean, well, which one do you want me to tackle first? Because if we start getting into the disc side of things, we're fixing to fall down a really deep rabbit
Go.
hole.
Let's
If you
start
want
with
me,
the
if you,
store. Let's start with the
okay,
online
okay,
store because I again that's going to be the meat and potatoes of this whole episode. So.
yeah. So yeah, whenever it comes to the PS3 and the PS Vita stores, um, I think it's a big loss, for older titles and everything. There's a lot of digital only games that were on the PS3, like Tokyo, or like what is it, Tokyo Zoo or something like that, or Tokyo Jungle. I don't remember what it
Yes,
is.
yes, Tokyo
Uh,
Jungle. Yes,
yeah,
I think
Tokyo
I think that's what it's
Jungle.
called.
Yeah, I don't think Fat Princess ever left the PS3 either, or its sequel. There's a lot of games that are stuck on that platform in the digital market space that will just no longer be accessible to anybody without means of emulation. And I feel like that is just a big spit in the face to the a large majority of players, and I feel like game preservation as a whole just loses in that situation.
No, agreed. That's the biggest issue I'm seeing is, man. I don't know when the last time you jumped on the PlayStation 3 store, but there is
I
a
actually
ton of.
did right.
Yep,
I I did it right after they announced they're shutting it down because
yep.
I was like, oh, let me go add stuff to my cart.
I did the same thing, but I like
Yeah,
I would periodically jump on, and there's tons of great games on there. And the nice thing too is they're all relatively cheap.
yeah,
Like I can buy like I bought Silent Hill 1, the PS1.
hmm
I installed it to my Vita. I paid $10 for it.
yeah,
Like Silent Hill 1, that game sells for a couple $100 just outright, but
yep,
I can get a $10 copy and I've got it saved on my Vita. So as long as I have that, I'm good.
yep.
There's the Persona games. There's tons of great content on there. And it sucks that I get it. There's probably not a ton of people on the PlayStation 3 store, but I don't see a problem with keeping it on there.
I don't either. And that's the thing too. Like you mentioned, Persona. Like Persona 2 is on the PlayStation 3 store and Vita store, and that game they sell it on there for $10. If you want a physical copy of that game, that's like a $300 game.
Yep.
So it's just a shame to be pulling the rug out from people like this and everything. And like you said, yeah, who's really on a PS3 at this point in time and everything? But just game preservation loses in this scenario.
But I mean, like in all fairness, there are people still on their PS3. Like obviously there is a market for it. I'm not saying like, who's on their PS3 anymore. Like come on, like get a PS4. Like the PS3 had a ton of great stuff on it.
Yeah.
So there's still people playing, but this also leads into the next part of this conversation is they're shutting off the PS3 store, but they also just announced they're not going to do physical media anymore.
Yep.
So what happens when we get to this stage in the PS5's life cycle?
Yep.
Or
Also,
PS6?
another thing is too is we forgot to mention this completely. They announced that they're going to be discontinuing physical media right after they removed 500 plus movies
Yep.
from people's libraries on PlayStation. So movies that people bought digitally that were for them to consume, and it was just ripped away from them, and they didn't get a refund or anything like that. You bought something only to have it taken away from you, and the problem is it wasn't stolen, like just somebody broke into your house and took it. The company that you bought it from decided that you can't have it anymore.
Yep. I mean, in all fairness, that's kind of been my biggest takeaway with all this too was when Stellar Blade released, or before it released, they had the demo. And the demo was supposed to come out on a particular day, but they accidentally uploaded it a few days earlier. So
Yeah.
a bunch of people downloaded it and already had it on their systems. Sony went in and took it off of their system. They didn't disable it. They didn't just make it unplayable. They just straight up removed it from your console. And that shows a level of power that they have, and it also shows how they view your purchase. They
Yep.
view your purchase of, what you bought as, like they always say, just a license to use it. Like you don't own
Hmm.
it. You just paid for the ability to rent it or use it temporarily. And
Yep.
if they don't like it, they can just take it off your system. Now,
Yep.
what's a good way to remedy that? Oh, I got a physical copy. I can just put
Yeah.
that disc in and play it. So
Yep. So
that's
no,
that's that's
it
the concerning part for me.
no, agreed 100%. You know, the fact that at any given point your purchases can be taken away from you and you don't get a refund or anything like that. It's just money lost.
So I know we talked a little bit about this before that we started the episode, but I think this is kind of a good topic to bring up. Was the numbers. Like let's so actually let's take a step back before we jump into that. You and I have both worked in the industry for a little bit. Like we understand the sales side of this and all that.
Yes.
But I like we can't be disillusioned to the fact that this just happened. Like the writing has been on the wall for years that this is where the
Hmm.
industry has been heading. Now, are we surprised? Yes. I mean, I don't know if surprised is the right word. Are
Well,
we
I think
angry? Yes.
I think the thing is I don't think we ever expected PlayStation to make the first move.
I mean,
You get what I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah, I don't really know who I would have expected to make the first move.
Honestly, I thought Xbox would before anybody, but especially, because in the Phil Spencer era, they were really pushing Game Pass and everything and
Yeah,
having games as a service and stuff and having a subscription for your game. So if anything, I thought Xbox was going to be the first company to go for it if you asked me, 4 years ago.
fair. No, I mean that's a fair
So,
statement, but I just I want to stress like it sucks because it's here. Like we this has been on the wall for a long time. Like we all know we already have digital systems. Like hell, the Xbox One had a digital only system.
yep.
I mean, then the Series S came out, and then the PS5 digital edition. Like this writing has been on the wall. It's just all of a sudden Sony kind of decided to pull the rug, and this is when it's happening. But how did we get to this point? And this is the part that frustrates me. I'm curious. Like my thought process is how did we get to this point? How did we
Yeah.
get to the point where Sony is like, man, we're not making as much money as we could be. Let's let's look at the numbers. And this is what
Yeah.
bugs me because we talked about this a little bit before the show. Was what did we say? So for 2025, they said 76% of all their sales were digital. But the article I saw is that's the entire catalog of their library. And if I
Yep.
remember correctly, and I could be mistaken, I saw the article that said out of all 100% of their library, there was only 1,100 titles that were even sold physically.
Yep.
And I think that was like 7,000 titles total. So out of 7,000 games that PlayStation Online offers, only 1,100 of those titles even have a physical release.
Yeah, because that's the thing is in that number that they pulled, that includes free to play online games. None of those really get physical copies. Unless they become really popular.
Yeah.
So that includes free to play online games. That includes indie games that didn't end up getting a physical copy. Just digital only games in general of these small companies that can't afford to manufacture physical copies of these games. So I think it's unfair to just be like, well, yeah, everybody's buying digital, but we also didn't have the option to begin with. So I feel like you can't use that as a justification personally.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think I saw another article, and I could be off base on this. I'd like to find the article, but I remember seeing something online about the games that did have physical releases outsold their digital counterparts.
I did see that. I saw another one. Let me see if I can find it. But just to sum it up from what I read, it was talking about PlayStation's first party sales
Yeah.
for all their first party games. And if their first party game was a single player story game, or, like Astrobot, just a 3D platformer, it ended up outselling digital copies. The physical copies did. Let me see.
Yeah, and then kind of to sidetrack, I sent you this article too, but Matt Booty from Microsoft talking about how games are so obsessed. Gamers are so obsessed with single player games, and it's like, yeah, like that tells me where his headspace is for the future. And it's like I'm concerned that the industry as a whole is going to start thinking that way because yes, I love my single player games. I love single player adventures. They're great games. I like multiplayer games. I think giving us options is a good thing. You shouldn't try and take that away from us. So,
Yeah. Well, like I said, you shouldn't alienate any specific market. Money's money from anywhere.
yeah. But no, it kind of bugs me that Sony's skewing the numbers in their favor. It bugs me that Sony's like, "Oh yeah, everyone buys digitally," but out of the 7,000 titles you tracked, only 1,100 were listed physically.
Yep.
That seems kind of underhanded in my opinion, and I don't care for that personally.
No, I agree 100% on that. It's crazy too because you can't even sit here and be like they're lying about the numbers, but they're very clearly just fudging it to to push their agenda, and it's ugly, it's disgusting, and it's corporate greed, man.
And
Like,
it makes me wonder, like I don't understand the law behind it and stuff like that. Like obviously there's a lot more above my pay grade for sure. But
mhm,
I'm curious, like how does this not become just a Sony controlled environment? Like
yeah.
100%. How does this not become a monopoly essentially?
Yeah, no, exactly. Because, like, let's take, like, Steam, for example. Steam is obviously the most successful PC marketplace for video games, but it's not the only one. So you can't say that Steam has a monopoly. There's other options out there. Not Steam's fault that they, are really, really good with their consumers and have good customer service. And just good business practices in general. So for me, I don't know, and I could be wrong. To me, it kind of feels illegal for PlayStation to do this in a way, because does that mean that so if they have an enclosed market like that, they eliminated the secondhand market. Um, so are we going to get like an Epic an Epic store on the PS6 to compete against PlayStation so that PlayStation can't just completely monopolize their little industry, like their little part of the market? So,
But
it seems weird and
and,
scummy, and
and
I
that's
don't know
how like
how.
that's how I don't understand, like how is this not a monopoly? Because at this point retailers are not allowed to sell digital codes for Sony. Like the only
Yep,
thing a retailer can sell is a PlayStation card that just has a dollar value on it. Back in the
yep,
day, you could walk into a GameStop and say, "Hey, I want to buy a code for this game on the PlayStation Store," and they would print a receipt for you that had the code on the bottom of the receipt. You can't do that
mhm,
anymore. You can't even buy prepaid cards with the game on it. It has to be a card that has a dollar value.
yep,
Um, so the only place to buy games digitally is going to be PlayStation, especially on PS6, because you're not going to be
mhm,
able to do. Obviously, there's no physical games from the PlayStation 6. Like we're going to get to that point. So the only place is to buy it from PlayStation. So who's to say, Final Fantasy Revelation comes out on PS6 and they make it $100. They make it $120. Well, if you want to play that game, that's the only place you can buy it.
yep,
You can't buy it from GameStop. You can't go to Walmart. You can't buy it from Amazon. Like, you have to buy from PlayStation. And if
mhm,
you want to go through a third party, the only thing you can do is buy a PlayStation card, and you're still paying that price.
yeah.
How is
That's not
that
even
not a monopoly? I don't understand. Like, that's the part that concerns me.
no. To me, it's a definition of monopoly. You are alienating other corporations from being able to sell product, to gain profit off of your product. So, like, it just it's weird. It
They're
doesn't make any
controlling their whole
sense.
market. Like they have
Yeah.
all the full say on it. And in all fairness, like Sony's already been under lawsuits for this.
Yes.
They've already had lawsuits of monopolizing their market.
Hmm.
Actually, for that exact reason of charging more for digital than what the physical is, and being the only place to buy this stuff. Like they've had actual lawsuits on this stuff before.
Yep.
So how have we not learned
Specifically in
from
the
this
EU.
mistake?
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a concern. And then actually, I saw an article yesterday which kind of cracked me up, but they were talking about the Japanese copies of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
When they release, they'll have codes inside the box, obviously, with the game, but it'll
Mhm.
also have extra content included in there that's only good for 170 days because of Japanese laws.
Really?
Yeah, so depending on stuff like that, if you're if you're buying like you're going to have all this stuff on a shelf, you only have a limited amount of time before these codes expire.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not even worth buying the code in the box or just to own it anymore cuz like in 170 days anything inside is going to be worthless.
Yeah. I pulled up just out of curiosity all of the class action lawsuits that PlayStation currently has against them because of because of this. Uh so we have a institution in the Netherlands who is suing PlayStation for $457 million. A UK consumer group is suing them for 2.68 billion.
Jesus.
And then there's also a US class action lawsuit against them right now as an antitrust lawsuit. Let's see here. The settlement is proposed to be 7.85 million. And then that's not even including all of the rumors of other countries that are going to be getting in on this, because last I saw, it was rumored that Mexico is currently putting together something as well.
Jesus. So no,
So,
like this is obviously a concern. Um there's a lot of concerns and issues cuz it kind of sets the precedent of the future for gaming. So
yeah.
the one thing that we were talking about is okay, Sony made the announcement. They did the rug pull. They shocked and broke the internet for that day, but it's
Mhm.
still carrying on. That outrage is still out there. We were talking about it, and I told you that I saw the announcement for the new God of War, LaFay, and in the comments, it was just pictures of no disc, no buy, no disc, no buy. That goofy meme of PlayStation now or PlayStation has limits, and I think you told me about the one that said greed has limits or
Yeah,
has no limits.
greed has no limits. I like
So
that one a lot.
it's the thing of you know what like is there anything we can actually do to affect this right now? What do you think?
Honestly, so I mean, there's multiple different things going on with this. Let's see. I just pulled one thing up to kind of talk about for a little bit, but um, there's change.org, which is a website where people can create petitions and have people sign them and everything.
Yep.
And currently, so there is a campaign that's "Don't Kill the Disc," tell Sony to keep physical PlayStation games, and the current signature count is 344,941.
Okay.
So which is nothing to scoff at, uh, but is it really going to do anything? No, not really. And the truth is if you want to make an impact, you want to tell PlayStation you're not okay with this, you have to speak with your wallet.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing. Um, if you're going to buy a game for PlayStation, you buy it physically. Um, there's people that have been mass canceling their PlayStation Plus subscription. So
Yeah.
the best way you can make your voice heard in this situation and potentially make a change at all is you need to not give them your money.
No, fair. Like, so I'm with you on that. The two things that I think that really need to be kind of stated here is this isn't something that's just, this wasn't thought of overnight.
No.
Obviously, the PlayStation 6 has been in development for probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like, it's been in the process for a while. So the idea of doing the PlayStation 6 without a disc drive, this isn't new to them. It's new to
Yeah.
us, but it's not new to them. They knew this was going to happen. Hell,
Mhm.
I told you that article about Alana Pierce talking about their social media team and the entire staff at Sony. They were advising them stay away from social media during this time frame and this time frame. Don't go on, don't post, don't say anything, don't do anything. Just avoid it like the plague
Yep.
because they knew the outrage.
Mhm.
But the thing is the system, the thought process, the mentality of everything they're doing has been on paper and planned out for the past X amount of years. So they're already well ahead of us when it comes to this, and they're not going to change.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to change. I don't think we're going to see the option for them to do an external disk drive or anything like that, because we're well past that point.
Yeah.
So what do? Yeah, like you said, we talk with our wallets. We
Hmm.
speak, that's how they're going to hear us.
Yeah. And
But
also, I'll say this too. Xbox has a really good opportunity here.
well, they've already said the next system's going to have a disk drive.
I thought it was just a rumor.
Well, no, they said that the next system will have a disk drive, but they also said they're working on a disk to digital option.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to put your disc in to play the
Yeah.
game, but you can still own your disc. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Personally,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't I
against
don't
that
think
at
it's
all.
same. There's other issues I have with it, but I think that's a good idea. I think it's a better solution than just cutting physical out entirely.
Yeah, agreed.
But uh the real question becomes, what what do we do about this? Because again, as much as I want to throw a fit, as much as I want to be like that screaming baby on the video, how do like nothing's going to change. As much
Yeah.
as I want and kick and scream, like I don't think anything's going to change. So what does this mean for you as a gamer 2028 forward?
It means that honestly, I'm not even going to bother. Like with PlayStation, honestly, as much as I hate to say it, and all of their first party titles that I'm really into, and some of my favorite game franchises just in general come from PlayStation. Um, I don't I don't think I'm going to get a PS6 in all honesty. If I do, I'm going to get it off the secondhand market. I'm going to buy it used. I'm not going to give PlayStation my money directly. And it's it sucks, honestly. And I'll say this right now, you know me, I've always been PlayStation over Xbox. Like I have
Hmm.
nothing against Xbox. I've just always preferred PlayStation. But yeah, if Xbox comes forward and they're like, "Yeah, here's our new console. It has a disc drive." I'm going to give Xbox my money.
Yep.
So it's just plain and simple as that. Xbox will get my business.
So I'm with you. Uh the only, like, for me, I'm a big Xbox fan. I love my Xbox.
Yeah.
But and I will say this, I think the PS5 has done better this generation. I'm not even talking sales wise or anything like that. Like, with everything that's happened over the past few years, Sony has had the better generation.
Mhm.
They've put out the better quality games. We're finally getting some good exclusives for Xbox, but Sony's been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
They
I don't know
started
if you
out with some solid exclusives.
I don't know if you saw this or not. This is just a small little tangent and everything, but according to some financial records and everything for Xbox, excuse me, for June of this year, Xbox saw a 87% increase in their hardware sales.
Hmm. Yeah, no, once the announcement happened, I saw that Xbox was the top selling console, and it doubled what PlayStation and Switch did for that month. So,
Yeah. And like don't get me wrong, like is it cool? Yeah, but is it going to have any long-term ramifications? Probably not because, projected sales going forward, I mean like PlayStation just has the upper hand unfortunately, and Nintendo's just doing Nintendo things. It's going to sell
yeah.
regardless. So,
Well, that's the thing. Like, to jump back to my question real quick, with what does this change for you? For me, this doesn't change a whole lot because I'm a big retro gamer. I like collecting the older stuff. I like looking at the older games and stuff like that. But I love my new collection too. Now, when the PS6 comes out, I'm in the same boat. I'm not sure I want one day one, but the
mhm,
biggest factor for me will be the games.
mhm,
And if like, obviously Final Fantasy Revelation already got announced, it'll be out well before the PS6 even comes out. But my thought
yep,
process is, if there's a solid title like Final Fantasy Revelation and they're like, "Hey, this is going to be a PS6 day 1 release." The two factors are going to be, okay, is it on Xbox? Can I get it physically? Nope.
yep,
Well, I have to play that game. All right, I'll get a PS6. But
yeah,
I
and that's
promise
like
you, I will not be buying a ton of content for that system. It'll sit on a shelf, probably collecting more dust than anything.
Oh, agreed. And I was talking to my wife about it too, because like I stated, if I get one, it's going to be on the secondhand market. It's going to be a used one, and the only reason I would get it is if they release a new God of War, which let's be honest, they're always going to release God of War,
Hell,
and
I've
if
already
there's a
said
new
they're
Ash,
going to.
yeah, or if there's a new Astrobot game, and that's really about it at this point. Everything else, uh, I don't want to say I don't care, but PlayStation has really gotten to the point where a lot of their first party titles just feel like the same thing, and and I'm just kind of burnt out on it. So
No, I'm with you. But I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, Sony first party is absolutely kind of the place to play. Like, they do
no,
great
absolutely,
stuff, but you're really they're really banking on the quality of those games to keep gamers engaged. And I
hmm
don't think that's enough to make me buy a PlayStation 6 that's digital only when I adamantly care about physical titles.
yeah.
So,
Also, that's not even to mention too, um, how much the PS6 is going to cost.
oh yeah.
Because that's the thing is if PlayStation turns around and they're like, "Hey, here's our new console. It doesn't have a disc drive. You got to buy everything digitally, so you don't own your games." That's $1,100. I'm going to laugh in their face. Like, no, absolutely not. I'm not spending, you know, that much for a console that doesn't cater to what I want. Why would I do that?
Well, I mean, the Steam machine just got released. We haven't even had a chance to talk about that with everything going on.
Yeah.
But the Steam machine is the comparable to a day one PS5. Not even a Pro, but a day
Yep.
one PS5. No disk drive, and they are 512 or 2 terabytes. That's
hmm
the size for those systems. And the 512 system is over $1,000.
Yeah.
And we're talking about next generation hardware. So this is going to be higher quality RAM, higher quality memory, and all of this stuff. And we're about to throw it into a home console. There's no
Yep.
way these systems are going to be under $1,000.
Yeah, especially because of all these components right now are just through the roof, and it's projected that come this fall that it's the possibility that the prices of them are going to double again.
Yep.
So it's insane, it's crazy. AI has ruined all of that, but that's a whole other completely different thing. But yeah, it's just a thing because let's be honest, Sony's not going to sell their console at a loss. Um, and so
Eh.
if they're like, here's our $1,000 console, I'm sorry, it's just not worth it to me at that point.
I mean, most of these manufacturers sell their consoles at losses. Like, in all fairness, when it
Yeah.
comes to hell, when the PS3 was $700, those things were sold at a loss. You know, when the PlayStation 4 came out and they started doing the next generations of them, they were sold at a loss. The PS5,
Mhm.
with the tariffs and everything and the price hikes and all that stuff, I'm I don't know if they're selling them at a loss, but I mean, they've obviously shown that they're not afraid to raise the price on this stuff, because this is the first generation we've had multiple price hikes on all of these hardware, all these pieces of
Mhm.
hardware. We've never seen that before, man. Every time a system came out, they always released the next generation, and it was an undercut of like $100 or something like that to make
Yeah.
it easier to get into consumers' hands. This generation, the Xbox Series X went from 499 to 650 bucks, and it's probably about to go up again.
Yeah, I think it's going up by another $100
That's
this
insane.
fall. Hmm
And then you're going to tell me hardware that's coming out in 2028 potentially, like, we don't know a release date or anything, but you're going to tell me that's going to be consumer friendly and something that like we can afford? That's like, it's just getting asinine at this point, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
So
It's
we've
and
we've kind of, or go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say just kind of veer into another topic of discussion regarding this though. But, the console's already going to be ridiculously expensive. We already know that. It's obviously not going to have a disk drive, so you don't own any of your games. And the big thing is also a massive problem to this is earlier this week, before we did this recording, PlayStation Network was down for 6+ hours, and all of your digital content was inaccessible.
Yep.
And that's not okay.
And
That's
and
absolutely not okay.
and the problem there is that's the future. That
Yeah.
is
If
literally the future. Because I mean, think about it. Every Christmas, what happens? All of
I mean,
the
everybody gets new consoles, everybody gets new games, like,
And then the network shuts down because of the influx of new
oh yeah,
customers.
because of the yeah, yeah,
The servers crash because it can't handle the influx of new customers. What
yep,
happens when the systems get DDoSed? You know, like they've done multiple times. Hell, there was wasn't there one time where it went down for like 3-4 days straight? And they
yes,
like we were just out of luck. Like Sony gave us an extra month of plus because they were sorry and all that stuff. But like this is the future of gaming.
yeah,
And, we've all heard the horror stories. I know you and I have, in the sense of, oh, I lost access to my account and I can't, like, Sony's not going to recover it for me, or Microsoft's not going to recover it for me. So all my
oh
digital
yeah,
purchases are gone.
yeah. Our job that we had, within the industry, because it was sales and everything. That's something I saw pretty frequently, and I know you did too.
Yep.
And it's just crazy, man, that you can just lose everything in just one fell swoop like that. And I just feel like it's the biggest spit in the face that you're going to sell us this ridiculously expensive console, and then you get home and let's say you want to play GTA 6, you just spent $120 on GTA 6 to get the best edition there is. Uh-oh, PlayStation Network went down. Sorry, your $1,000+ console is a brick and you can't play the $120 game you just bought.
Or actually, what I didn't even think about is something else we saw. What if you get banned?
Yeah, that's another thing entirely too.
Yeah, because we saw systems that got IP banned and
Hmm.
locked to where they couldn't access the internet.
Yep.
So what happens there? Obviously, you can't play discs. So if your
Hmm.
system gets IP banned, you've got a brick. Because they also just announced that new. I say just announced. This has been a little bit, but they're talking about that. What is it? The renewing license thing, where you have to connect your system every 30 days.
Yep.
So if your system gets bricked, you can't connect to the internet for 30 days. Any games you have on that hardware on that system's gone. The
Yeah, you're
only
just
thing you can do is buy another system and hope your profile's not banned.
Yep. And if it is, you got to make a new one. You got to buy all those games again.
Yep. It's like I really don't like the chokehold that we're kind of being put in here.
Hmm.
So the real next step would be, obviously we talked about the cons, and we've already said the cons outweigh the pros for sure. But I
Hmm.
do see one small pro, but I really feel like this only benefits me, in all fairness.
Okay.
Like
Well, let me hear it. Let me hear it. What you got?
so again, I'm a retro gamer. I'm a physical gamer. I
Hmm.
collect all my stuff. The nice thing is yes, going forward, PlayStation 6, there's not going to be any hardware or any physical games, anything like that. That's fine. If that's the future you want for your gaming, go for it. I respect it. You can do it. It's not for me. But the nice thing is there's still a huge library of games behind me. And I'm not even talking physically. I'm talking PS3, PS2, PS1 that I can always go back and collect.
Yes.
And there's always going to be great games. And the nice thing is the pro and con to this too is those retro games, they're just going to go up in value. A lot of those
Hmm.
games are. A lot of those games already have. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the retro games, but I know, like PS3, like Azura's Wrath and
Oh my
Folklore
gosh, dude.
and
I
stuff
I
like
know
that.
because I was actually looking to buy a copy of Asura's Wrath whenever I was on vacation, and we walked into a GameStop and I was looking at the retro section whenever we were up in Ohio,
Yeah.
and they were selling Asura's Wrath for 80 bucks. I was like, I remember when I bought that game for 15.
Yep.
Like,
All of those
well,
all those games are skyrocketing right now because Sony announced they're shutting down the online store, and the
yep.
only place you can play it once that shuts down is if you have one of those old discs.
Yeah.
So,
Or you have it downloaded to your console already,
yeah,
but
but I mean,
yeah.
but that's I mean, yes, but my point is it sucks that the future of gaming is going to change for me drastically. But the pro is I still have a great library of classics I can dig through, and I am always going to be a retro classic gamer more. So this affects me, but it doesn't affect me.
You know what? That's fair. And I kind of had the same thought at one point in time. And it was, hey, the PS6 comes out. I didn't get it because I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'm only going to pick one up if there's a new God of War or a new Astrobot. Hey, look, I have this, hefty backlog over here. And I have all of these other consoles that I really love, I really enjoy, games I haven't played for decades. It's going to be nice to honestly be able to sit down and revisit them without having to feel like I just need to play the next biggest and greatest thing.
Yep. No, and that's
So,
that's kind of the one thing I'm a little bit happy about too, is because I've got a backlog a mile long, just like you.
yeah.
But this gives me an opportunity to dive back into those games. Because in all fairness, one thing I've always said, and I know you've heard me say this, you walk into a GameStop or wherever, or like a retro store, and you see these games that are like 5, 10, 15 bucks, and it's like those were $60 games at one time.
hmm
But I'm still getting a $60 game. I'm just paying $5 for it, but I'm getting that value of a $60 game. Was it a great game? Could be. Was it a terrible game? Could be.
I mean, in some instances, though, a lot of the games from like the PS3, 360 generation are better than some of the stuff we
Yep.
get nowadays, you
And
know?
that's kind of the other thought process I had too when it comes to the PlayStation 6. I bought heavily into the 360 era personally. Like
hmm
I've got a ton of 360 games, and I've got a good amount of PS3 games, but I don't have a ton. And during that generation, I played a lot on 360, but I played exclusives on PS3.
Yeah,
And I wish I would have bought more PS3 games personally.
yeah,
But now this gives me an opportunity to really start digging through the PS3 library and kind of going that route. That's kind of where my focus is.
hmm
And I kind of see the same for PS6. If for some reason I do spend the money and get one, I'll be playing more on my Xbox. But if there's a really cool exclusive and I have a PS6, I might get it. But if there's a
yeah.
disc copy, I guarantee you I'm going that route.
No, for sure. And that's the thing though, is like obviously a God of War game isn't going to be on Xbox. The next Horizon, Forbidden West, Zero Dawn, whatever, isn't going to be on Xbox. Ghost of Tsushima or what Ghost of Yotai, whatever the next Ghost is,
Yep.
not going to be on Xbox. So yeah, it just sucks that you're being cornered into that market like that. But yeah, any third-party title that has a physical copy on Xbox or Switch, that's where my money's going. That's
Yep.
where my time is going.
Agreed. On a random note, I don't know if you saw this. So obviously we talked about Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out digitally, but it was really funny because when uh, they actually did the announcement, they did that a little bit before Sony made their announcement. But when
Yeah.
Sony made their announcement, Rockstar actually pulled all of their marketing off of PlayStation.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, like the app was supposed to be themed Grand Theft Auto 6. When you booted up your PlayStation, it was Grand Theft Auto 6. But
Yep.
after they made that announcement, even Rockstar was like, "Ew, hold on a sec. Let's take a step back." And it's
Yeah.
like that says something in my opinion, because this is a company
Agreed.
that just announced, "Hey, this game's going to be digital only." But we don't want to go that doesn't look good. So that's a telling story right there in my opinion.
Yeah, that one of the biggest game studios in the world, who makes one of the largest franchises in the world, just announced their new game is going to be all digital, but then PlayStation, announces it and everything, and they back away because of the backlash. Like, I feel like it was definitely a thing of like, oh, PlayStation's getting more backlash than we are. Let's kind of back up and we'll ride this one out and let PlayStation take the brunt of this.
Man, I really
So,
like I'm cautiously optimistic for sure, but I really want GTA to release a physical edition just
mhm.
to at this point just out of spite.
Honestly, yeah.
Like I feel like they should. And I mean, I think that game would sell even better with a physical edition, but because I mean, there's going to be a lot of players that don't want to do the digital.
Well,
There's a
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. You know my stance on Rockstar games. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I think
Yeah.
a lot of them are kind of cookie cutter, you know, same thing. They don't really do much to innovate outside of graphics. Um, and I was very on the fence about GTA 6 already and whether or not I was going to pick it up. The moment they said there was going to be no disc, my mind was decided, and I fell on the side of the fence of I'm not picking this game up.
Oh yeah. No, we were like I was at work and we were talking a lot of stuff about the launch and preparing for it. And for me, with my new role, I was thinking of the future. You know, hey, what kind of huge events can we host? Obviously, you know, back with GTA 5, we had great midnight launches and events and stuff like that. What can we do to prep for GTA 6? And the moment they revealed to us that, oh, hey, this is digital only. This is going
Yeah.
to be a code, and we're going to release it on the 12th. So you can buy it a week early
Yep.
and pre-install it and be ready for the 19th. And I'm just
Yep.
like, that kills everything. Like that
Yeah.
kills the ability to do a late night launch. Nobody's going to come up at midnight to buy a digital code they can just pre-install
Mhm.
and not play for a whole week. Like that kills everything.
Well,
And I feel like at this point the industry as a whole is kind of working against us.
yeah.
So,
I don't know, man. It's just it's upsetting. Like I said, it's ugly, it's disgusting, it's gross, it's corporate greed,
so we're we're
and
we're definitely looking towards a digital future. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
so does that mean for you, obviously we've already said what our stance is on PlayStation 6. What are you hoping to see from the next generation of systems? Be it obviously not the PS6, but let's say the next Xbox, which they're codenamed Helix right now.
yeah.
And obviously there's going to be a next generation Switch. Like we already have Switch 2,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
like are we going to have an OLED model? Are we going to have a what are you hoping to see from the next generation of gaming?
Honestly, so I feel like we're at the point now where we're not really seeing giant leaps and bounds between console generations anymore, you know? There's a lot of games on the PS4 that look really, really good.
Mhm.
You know, some better than some PS5 games that are out currently, and same thing with Xbox One and Series X and stuff. So we're getting to the point where we're seeing a lot of less leaps and bounds in between these consoles. So for me personally, you know, obviously, I wish PlayStation would double back, you know, or like throw us a bone and give us external disk drive or something like a workaround or something. Uh, According to what you said, Xbox already said it's going to have a disk drive. So outside of that, the one thing that I want in this next console generation is I just want good games at this point
Yeah.
because we're just getting to the point now where game development, especially for these large AAA games, is just bloated and it takes forever. And we have to wait so long in between games. Like let's look at Naughty Dog for a second. The Last of Us Part 2 came out in 2020.
Yeah.
They have not released a game since. It's been almost a decade since they have released a game. So, I like me personally, I really wish that more developers would just be like, "Hey, let's not put the amount of pixels from a character model from a 360 into the eyebrow, a single eyebrow of a character, you know? Like I like just stop. Just stop.
I
Please.
mean,
Just like make your game stylistic, make it look cool and make it fun to play." And
that's I mean, I agree,
so,
but that's kind of the way the industry has gone. If you're a AAA studio, it needs to be as realistic can be.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
I'm
look at the
just
Call of Duty games and like Madden and stuff like that. Like those games, they just improve on graphics because there's two things they want is gameplay and graphics.
yeah, but that's the point though, is I'm tired of it though,
Yeah, no, I
you
get
know?
it. I get it.
And that's the thing is like with Call of Duty though, and with Madden and everything, I think there's, you know, an expected level of realism there though, for those kinds of titles. But let's be honest, for something like Gears of War E-Day coming out, Gears of War is already like, you know, let's be honest, it's a little goofy, you know. You play as a big, you know, buff guy who's his body makes no sense physically. Like it shouldn't look like that. Like he needs to go get it checked out. You have a chainsaw bayonet at the front of your gun. You're fighting enemies that crawl up out of the ground and everything. I don't need that to be realistic. Like personally,
Yeah.
if it just looks stylized and it looked nice, I would be completely happy with it. Or like how Konami did with the Snake Eater remake. They didn't make it look realistic. They kind of gave it that feel of having a like I would say almost like an action figure type look to it, where it's
Okay.
like very sleek and
Kind of
kind of looks
plastic.
like yeah, like Snake is a toy, but it doesn't look bad though. But
Yeah.
it's also not real it's not realistic, especially compared to like some of these other games like The Last of Us Part 2. And I want to see more of that, especially because it means that we're going to have less development time. That means we're going to be getting games more often. Because let's be honest, the only reason to even get a console is for the games that you're going to be playing. So,
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like, I want quality games. Like, I
mhm.
want some good titles. Like, uh, I was I was actually talking to my wife about this a while ago, but it's like we were looking through the PlayStation store, and we were just scrolling through the store because I just like to see if there's anything that catches my eye, maybe something I can pre-order in store, or just something that maybe I want to play, just a cheap game. But like 95% of it was all AI generated, just slop
Mhm.
simulator style games. And
Mhm.
when I looked at the games, they were all made by the same studio. Like I looked through probably 20 different games and it was all the same thing, like cafe simulator, library simulator, lawn mowing simulator, retro store like all these different simulator games, and they were all AI generated thumbnails, AI generated games. And I'm just like, this is where the future of our digital store lies.
Yep, an
And I
AI generated swap.
I want quality titles. Back in the day, like you said, we had Last of Us, Horizon, Gears of War, Halo, like all these great games that we were genuinely excited for. And now we're at a point where it's just like every day the store opens, there's probably 2 to 300 new generic games that are just filling the library.
Yep.
And even with AAA studios, like AAA studios, they come out with good stuff. Like I'm not taking away from the hard work they put into this. The problem is the people leading these studios are too afraid to try new things.
Mm.
And if you make a bad decision, a studio closes.
Yep.
But the problem is even if you play by the rules, a studio closes. Hell, we just saw
Yep.
it. They just shut down a bunch of studios. We were talking about Double Fine getting axed by Microsoft. They're going
Well,
independent, I should say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like,
Honestly, well, I have a whole thing about that, but that's for a different recording. I think that's I honestly don't have a lot of negative things to say about that one, but we'll get to that
but
in a different recording.
yeah, but
So,
my point is like we're afraid to take a gamble, but we're afraid to do too well.
mhm.
And that's what's really hurting the industry as a whole. We're not afraid to remake the same game over and over and over. We just got the Black Flag resync that just came out. Game looks
Mhm.
incredible. Game looks
Yeah,
amazing, very
it's
pretty.
sold it sold 2 million in a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but did we need a Black Flag remake?
I mean, necessarily, no, we didn't. But I also feel like it was kind of a thing of Ubisoft being like, hey, we need to remember what people like about
Yep.
Assassin's Creed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
And so I don't mind in that regard,
I
but
mean, Shadows had a ton of negative press and a lot of negative kind of intonation behind it, but sold really well. And when it came out, they did it right. They did very well, and people were pleased. Obviously, Valhalla had a lot of mixed reviews with it.
mhm,
Origins, uh,
Odyssey.
Odyssey, those were a very different take. So I get the idea of maybe we need to realign, maybe we need to
Mhm.
refocus and stuff like that. But I mean, this isn't the only remake we've seen, especially in the past 2, 3 years. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
for
we're
sure.
just afraid to try new things. And that's what I want is I just want us to not be afraid to try new things or give us what we want.
Yeah.
give us the remakes that we've been asking for years. You know, we've always talked about a Dino Crisis remake or a Parasite Eve remake, or I'll go down a rabbit hole there, but it's like they're either too afraid or they don't listen. And I would just like a little bit more,
You are free.
I don't know, input,
Mhm.
like pull. I don't know what the right way to word it is, but just let's try and start doing things right. That would be nice.
Hey, fun fact about the Dino Crisis thing. I saw a leak earlier this week that
Yeah.
apparently Dino Crisis remake has been in development since 2022 using the RE engine.
Yeah, I saw something on that earlier too, but
I wouldn't mind. The RE engine is beautiful.
no,
So,
agreed. I love RE Engine. Like anytime there's a Resident Evil game, you can tell because they all look the same,
yeah.
but I'm okay with it.
Oh, same. It looks
Because
great.
like even when they did the Code Veronica remake, or I guess Veronica now,
Yeah.
but when that trailer started, I was like, is this Code Veronica? Is this Resident Evil? Because you can just tell by the way the game looks.
Yeah, I remember we were texting each other back and forth, and we were just like, you know, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a new Outlast for a second.
I remember getting that from you, but I was sitting there with my wife and I'm like, this is Resident Evil. Is this? There's no way. Is this Resident
Yeah.
Evil? And it was just like it would kind of go to it, that it wouldn't, and it was like, all right. And then obviously the reveal happened. It's like, holy shit, they finally did it. So,
Mhm.
but yeah. So that's the future of gaming, guys. Like, what is your take on this? We'd love to see your feedback. You know, let us know in the comments. Are you interested in the PS6 now? Are you still a diehard Sony fan? Are you switching to Xbox? Are you going to Switch? Like, what's the future of gaming look like for you guys? Because I would love to know. For me, not a lot changes for me because I'm a retro gamer. I like collecting my older games. I'll look at the future, but I'm not committing. I'm not committing to a PS6. Not yet, anyway.
Yep.
If Microsoft officially comes out with a disc tray, like for sure, everything I've seen has been rumor and leaks and stuff like that. I don't know if it's true. I'm hoping it is. But if Microsoft comes out and says, hey, we care about physical media, we care about physical gamers,
Yep.
that's a day one purchase for me. Unless
Yeah,
it's like
I
8
think.
grand, and then that's going to be another conversation.
Oh yeah, dude, it would be funny though because that's exactly what happened in the PS4 and the Xbox One generation. Is
Yep.
Xbox was like, yeah, we're going towards this digital future and everything, and you have to, all of your games will be coded, to only be on this console. You can't resell them, you can't let anybody borrow them, and it killed their generation for
Yep.
them. And so, like I said earlier in this episode, Xbox has a very good opportunity right now. Whether or not they follow up on that is remains to be seen, but I'm hopeful.
And
So
I do want to throw out, I thought of this earlier, I meant to mention it, but when we worked at GameStop during that generation. Um,
yeah,
the thing is like I remember, and I'm sure you do too, when that announcement got made, I had a ton of people trading in their Xbox and just, I'm going PlayStation. I'm going
yes,
solely
yeah.
PlayStation. I'm selling my entire Xbox collection. I'm selling everything. I don't want it. I'm not going to be forced into a digital generation. And they bought a PlayStation right then and there.
I remember for a while we couldn't even move an Xbox.
Yep.
Like unless it was somebody who's a diehard Xbox fan and they just wanted to play the new Halo or something like that. I just remember a time where that's all we had was Xboxes. You couldn't move one to save your life.
Yep.
Like,
And that's the thing, is like we're kind of at that precipice again where, but Sony's the offending agent this time. Like,
yep.
are we gonna see that level of people selling, their PlayStations, getting rid of it? I haven't seen anything like that at a physical level, but we talked about how people are already canceling their PlayStation subscriptions. Hell,
I'll let you.
you sent me the article about you can get a renewal for 50% off. Like they're trying
Yep.
to bring people back because of how many canceled.
I actually canceled mine because I was honestly just sitting there and thinking about it. I was like, do I really use it? And the answer is no, I don't. Because any games that I play online, you don't need PlayStation Plus to play them online.
Yeah.
And like, even though that catalog, the backlog catalog is cool and everything, like I don't really utilize it. So I was like, I'm not using it. PlayStation's pissed me off. I don't want to give them my money. I canceled mine. So
Okay. I've actually been considering renewing my Game Pass subscription now
I
that
did.
Microsoft cut their price down and made it
Mhm.
22 a month instead of it being 29. Like, I've thought about renewing my Game Pass subscription and going back to that, so I may do that. But I didn't
Yeah.
cancel my PlayStation subscription. I've got a real unique situation where I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, so I know your
But
situation, so
like I if this if it keeps going against gamers, I will cancel it.
yeah.
So,
No, I renewed my Game Pass a couple months ago. I've already played through Gears 1 and Gears 2 again.
yeah,
Fantastic. Fantastic freaking games, man. I forgot how good they were because 'cause
they
it's been
are.
like a
They're
decade
really
since I
good.
played them. Yeah, I'm
I
on
am
3
so
right
excited for
now,
E-Day.
so oh, me too.
I'm so excited for E-Day. But I did see that what is it? Shift at midnight or shifts at midnight or something like that, or midnight shift or
Yes,
whatever.
it's on Game Pass
It's
now,
on Game
yes.
Pass, and I was like, man, that'd be a good video to record. So we might have to do something with that. Since you have
Yeah.
Game Pass now, we can definitely do
Yeah,
that.
no. So,
But
but yeah, definitely, I'll be bolstering my Xbox library here soon, so
yeah, same. I'll be digging back into that, which I'm really excited for. I've been buying a lot of PlayStation lately, so I guess I'm gonna have to go
mhm.
back to buying Xbox.
Yeah, it's honestly because you know me, I've always been on my PlayStation more than anything. I've actually been playing on my Series X more this year than the PlayStation, even before this announcement. So,
Fair. No, I have a backlog of like a billion games on my PlayStation, so I need to kind of go that
mhm.
route. But to be honest, I've been so busy with work, I just haven't really had a chance to play. So
Yeah,
that's been the issue for me. But that's a whole other conversation. That's a conversation
yeah,
for another day, guys.
yep,
But on that note, I think we probably should get to wrapping this up. This has already been going for close to actually over an hour now.
yep.
So uh yeah, I don't want it to be all doom and gloom, guys, but it's kind of like it feels like the end is here, you know. Obviously, the digital age is becoming more and more of a reality, and we're just going to have to kind of deal with it.
Navigate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can't I don't think we're going to be able to change it, but if you want to make the biggest impact like Chandler said, I think speaking with your wallet is going to be the best way to do it for sure.
hmm
But on that note, guys, as always, we appreciate you guys watching and listening and hanging out with us. Let us know down below. What do you guys think? What is the future of gaming for you? Are you like me, where it doesn't change much and you're going to be collecting retro games like you always have? Or are you going to kind of switch, maybe go a different route like Chandler is, where he's going to be focusing more on Xbox and Switch? Let us know down below. We'd love to kind of get your feedback and see what your stance is on this new digital age. Do you have anything you want to cover before we wrap this up?
uh, like Andy just reiterated on, speak with your wallet if you're upset about this situation. Also, I want to say this too, because I've also seen some people who are like, well, I'm just not going to buy any first party PlayStation title and everything. If you're going to, or if you're upset about it and you want to play a first party title, just get it physically because you're only hurting the developers at that point. They didn't ask for this. You know, there's a lot of development studios that are under PlayStation's banner that are upset about this as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, if there's a first person title that you want to play on PlayStation, don't hurt the developers. Just get it physically so that way, hey, you know, PlayStation, look, I'm buying this physically. This is I do not want your digital future. So,
Yep. No, I think that's going to be the best way to do it. But in all fairness, it really just depends on what you guys want. Like, if you want
mhm,
to go with this digital age, like that's your decision. Kudos to
yeah.
you, but it's not where we want to be. So I know our stance and what we're going to be doing. But as always, guys, we appreciate you watching. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to keep it uncultured. We'll see you next time.